Many bottles of water. It's your one no go go. Yeah. Alternate song gospel play the piano sound. Cause I like the way she call up. Billy beep, Billy bat, Billy pop. We just want to jive. Da da yeah. More bottles for my head. Da da yeah. Cause we just want to jive. Da da yeah. More bottles for my head. Da da yeah. I shake, 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 munamale, shisha. I shake, 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 munamale, munamale. I shake, 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 munamale, shisha. I shake, 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 munamale. So you come mind if I give you kiss? I want to give it to you like this. And if I shoot shot, I don't go miss. And if I shoot shot, I don't go miss. We just want to jive it. Da-da-yeah. My bottles for my head. Da-da-yeah. 'Cause we just want to jive it. Da-da-yeah. My bottles for my head. Da-da-yeah. We just want to jive it. Da-da-yeah.
Thanks, Tahira. We're going to do that again in about 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes from now.
No problem. I'm on standby, so I'll keep an eye on the live stream.
Alternate song gospel play the piano sound. Cause I like the way she call up. Billy beep, Billy bat, Billy pop. We just want to jive. Da-da-yeah. More bottles for my head. Da-da-yeah. 'Cause we just want to jive. Da-da-yeah. More bottles for my head. Da-da-yeah. I shake, shake, shake,
Welcome to the Africa's Business Heroes 2022 application launch event. The event will start in 20 minutes. There are several functions that you can experience on the virtual platform while you wait. First up, we have the scavenger hunt. So we have set up a fun scavenger hunt game. There are 5 words hidden in the venue at different places throughout the entrance and the lounge. You will need to find those words by hovering your mouse over them carefully and then try to build a sentence with those words once you've found them all. After you have found all the words and built your sentence, please click on the puzzle piece icon in the top right corner of the lounge and write it in the chat. The first 5 people to find all the words and send through their sentence will win a prize. We will announce that at the end of the event. We also have a fun quiz about Africa's Business Heroes. How well do you know Africa's Business Heroes? Go to the lounge and try the quiz. There are downloads which you can access from the lounge. We have our 2022 application guidebook, our Africa's Business Heroes annual report, and you can learn about our 2019 to 2021 top 10 heroes. If you want to be Africa's next business hero, don't hesitate to apply for the 2022 Africa's Business Heroes competition by visiting our website. Applications are live, so make sure to go and start your application after the event. Of course, if you're interested in supporting Africa's entrepreneurs, you can join us as an ABH judge. We also have networking available on the platform. You can check out the virtual attendees by clicking the chat box and trying to talk to someone. Some of the highlights you can look out for once the main event begins include the official launch of the new Africa's Business Heroes brand identity, the official premiere of the 2021 Africa's Business Heroes show, some inspiring talks from our esteemed judges, an interactive kickoff ceremony for the 2022 call for applications, some tips on how you can complete your Africa's Business Heroes application and make sure it stands out from the crowd, as well as a networking event afterwards. Stay tuned, we will be starting shortly in 20 minutes.
shui. Ayo, shambe shete gwini. Asmenene pashini. Spatinga nini. Asige shiti shui. Shambe shete gwini. Asmenene pashini. I think I baby. Yo, I see get tissue. I spend in the pashi. I see get tissue. I spatting on me. I see get tissue. Oh, some shit take me. I see get tissue. I won't be malini. I see get tissue. I spend in the pashi. I see get tissue.
Can you hear me?
Spatting on me. Oh, I see get tissue. Oh, some shit. Oh, yeah. I see get tissue. Yeah. I think I
Hello, welcome to the 2022 Africa's Business Heroes application launch event. The event will start in 10 minutes. While you wait, there are several functions that you can explore on this virtual platform. First up, we have a scavenger hunt. So we have set up a fun game where there are 5 words hidden throughout the venue at different places across the entrance and the lounge. You will need to find these words by hovering your mouse over them carefully and then try to build a sentence with the words once you found them all. After you have found all the words and built your sentence, please click on the puzzle piece icon in the top right corner of the lounge and write it in the chat. The first 5 people to find all the words and send through their sentence will win a prize. We will announce the winners after the event. There is also a fun quiz about Africa's Business Heroes, where you can test how well you know the program. Go to the lounge and try out the quiz. We have some downloads available in the lounge too. You can download our 2022 application guidebook, our Africa's Business Heroes annual report, and also you can learn about our 2019 to 2021 top 10 heroes. If you want to be Africa's next business hero, do not hesitate to apply for the 2022 Africa's Business Heroes competition by visiting our website. Applications are live, so don't delay and start your application right after the event. Of course, if you are interested in supporting leading entrepreneurs across the continent, you can join us as an Africa's Business Heroes judge. There is also networking available, so please check out the virtual attendees by networking by clicking the chat box and starting a conversation with someone. Some of the highlights to look out for once the main event begin include the official launch of the new Africa's Business Heroes brand identity, the 2021 Africa's Business Heroes show premiere, some inspiring talks from our esteemed judges, a super fun interactive kickoff ceremony for the 2022 call for application. There'll be some tips on how you can complete your Africa's Business Heroes application, as well as a networking opportunity after the event. Stay tuned as we will be starting the event shortly.
metanina, ina ode metabala, ayende metanina, ina ode metabala o, ayende metanina diana, ina ode metabala dondo. Tenguliye nyagaye, tensoliye nyagaye, konyokoye nyagaye, tenguniye nyagaye. Ayende metanina diana, ina ode metabala dondo.
African time isn't what you think it is. Forget what you've heard about Africa being behind the rest of the world, constantly running behind schedule, because African time isn't what you think it is. This is the Africa we know. A fast and imaginative Africa, a connected Africa, a game-changing, economy-building, groundbreaking Africa, a future-focused Africa, an Africa built by Africans, built by entrepreneur heroes who are here to show up and show others, here to bring a new meaning to the phrase African time, here to change the face of Africa, on time, in time, and ahead of our time. This is our time. It's African time.
Oh yes, it is African time. Now, if you're African, regardless of where you are, across any one of our 54 countries, perhaps even in the diaspora, right here, wherever you are, it is your time to shine. Of course, ABH spotlights entrepreneurs, and the conversation since 2019 has been about empowering these entrepreneurs, giving them that seed capital that will take them from where they are to where we believe they can be. And beyond that, I mean, the conversation doesn't stop at the winning, it stops at this, or it starts with this ABH community that we're building. So you're very welcome, because today we launch yet another call to action. We want many of you Africans to apply. But of course, we are live in Kigali. Yes, it is. I'm here in Kigali, Rwanda. Beautiful country, beautiful city of Kigali. But we're also broadcasting live from two other major powerful cities across the continent of Africa. We're broadcasting live from Kinshasa. Can I see my friends from Kinshasa? Okay, they're there, they're coming soon. And of course, we go all the way to the other city of Cairo. Beautiful country, Egypt. Cairo, let me hear from you. Our friends in Cairo, I've learned how to say welcome, and that's marhaba. Ladies and gentlemen, we are launching this call to action. We are launching our applications for 2022. Because each and every single year, there's a lot of excitement. And that excitement is in reaching out, is in going further, and it's in calling more of you Africans here to this point of having a conversation about being able to win your share of the $1.5 million prize. And that has been the anthem since 2019. But here to officially welcome you to the launch, I would like to throw it all right, and here to officially welcome you to the launch, as we're launching, yes indeed, I would like to throw the microphone and the stage over to the executive. All right, so I'm here live from Kigali. We are across two other cities, and of course, right here online and in person, we can also say we are around the world. Now, please allow me to welcome the Executive Director of the Jack Ma Foundation, Mr. Jason Powell, to share a few words.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me, see me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay, sounds good. How many more minutes before I go up?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Jason Powell, Executive Director, the Jack Ma Foundation, here to, I would say, officially welcome you. Jason, over to you.
Hello, everybody. Am I online now?
Yes, you are, live and direct across the continent.
Awesome, awesome. Good day, everybody. Let me first by giving a big shout out to all the women out there. Earlier this month, it was International Women's Day. I think it was March 8th.
Yes.
It's not only Women's Month for me, but especially in the ABH community, Women's Year. We have so many amazing female entrepreneurs. I'm going to start by giving a big shout out to all the female entrepreneurs, African female entrepreneurs that continue to rise above, exceed expectations, show everybody what you're made of. I've just been super impressed. As you've seen with all of the years in the past, ABH, those that rise up, we have some amazing women entrepreneurs. So let me just start by giving the women a shout out. My name is Jason Powell. I'm joining you from Shanghai, China, Executive Director for International Programs. I had the privilege to join Mr. Ma on his first trip to Africa nearly 5 years ago. And actually, in 2019, 4 years ago, on March 27th, we opened the first application to what was then called the African Entrepreneur Prize Initiative, or ABH now. And so 4 years later, we're back here today. And I do want to thank all of our partners, all of the entrepreneurs, everyone in the ecosystem that has joined us, supported this mission to drive African entrepreneurship. So about today, super excited. We have 5 physical locations linked up: Rwanda, DRC, Egypt, South Africa, Nigeria, and of course, across the continent and online globally as well. I want to give my special thanks to all our partners, organizing partners. Thank you so much for pulling this off. We have Rise Up, Bazolia Holdings, South Africa Innovation Summit. We were astounded by the registration numbers. Over 1,800, 67% of you are joining us virtually, about a third of you physically. Our audience is from 63 countries, which is pretty amazing. And just as ABH is focused on, we are sector agnostic. We've got 21 industries represented today. The top ones being agriculture, education and training, and of course, IT and ICT. So today is an important day. It marks the beginning of the 2022 Africa Business Heroes Prize Competition launch. In a second, we're going to go through all the details of the launch, of the program, what are the qualifications, and of course, super excited to know that the ABH show will start to air. And so thank you for joining us for this exciting moment. Let me talk just a few more points about ABH itself. Mr. Ma started this with the pure ambition to support the emerging entrepreneurial ecosystem that he saw with his own eyes as we traveled across Africa several years ago. And that mission stays intact. And I can say wholeheartedly that not only are we in it for the long term, we have a 10-year horizon, but every year we're going to do more and we're going to do it better. Just as you are entrepreneurs looking to find ways to solve problems, succeed, help support local communities, grow bigger. We're trying to do the same thing. In fact, our team started with myself, and then we now have really only a team of 4 or 5. So we're entrepreneurs ourselves. So I feel like we've got the entrepreneur spirit along with you all. We learn a lot from you. We take a lot of your advice, your input in, and every year we're going to make it better. And again, the sole mission is to support you entrepreneurs to make it to the next stage and to do even better things. We are continually upgrading things. We've upgraded our application system this year. We're going to make it easier for you to figure out how to go through the process. I'm not going to lie, it is rigorous, it's tough, it's set for a reason. We're trying to find the best across the continent, but we're going to make it easier for you to get through that process. The process itself is tedious, but I will say, and a lot of our entrepreneurs at ABH have said before, that the process itself taught them a lot. It helped them to grow, it helped them to look inside, to know the company better, where they can improve, where they can strengthen. So I encourage you to have the patience to get through it and reflect on it as you're going through it. I think hopefully it also teaches you something about your journey. The second big thing, we are upgrading our community. The ABH is not just about the prize money. Yes, the $1.5 million in grant money is great. It's going to support a lot of our winners in getting to the next phase. There's also another part of it, which is the community and training. We're going to do more and more on that front as well, so that your journey doesn't end with the grant money. If you don't get the grant money, we still have opportunities to provide training and other types of business opportunities as well. Our third pillar, which is really about what we're going to talk later about, is the show. We're eager to tell your stories, and it's not only on TV, we do a lot on social media as well. And so consider us partners to promote your story as well. And as I talk about the show, we are going to premiere on CNBC Africa Friday, tomorrow, March 25th, and it's going to be followed by Star Times, Vox Africa, and several local TV stations. We want to make it accessible, so we will be dubbing it into French and Arabic as well. This took us 3 months to produce. We shot across 12 countries. And so I hope you really enjoy it. You know, it really was quite a bit of work for us. And there's some tear jerkers in there. There's some amazing moments. So tune in if you can. So thank you all for joining. I'm going to stop here and stop talking. Let's get on with the program. It's super exciting today. I haven't been back in Africa for a few years because of, COVID happened. I can't wait to come back. I can't wait to sit there with you all, hear from you guys. And yes, it is definitely African time. So with that, back to you, Anita.
Jason, thank you so much. The continent misses you, so listen, we know it's out of your reach. COVID is something else. And talking about COVID, what we were able to do in that era as entrepreneurs, as ABH, was also, or is also worth talking about. At the time when the world was melting, we're so proud that Africa's entrepreneurs showed up and they showed off. And one such show-off, I would say, is in what you'll see tomorrow in the ABH show. They knew that the world had come to a standstill. They knew that they were part of the ABH community. But what made it even more beautiful is their investment, just as we as ABH invested in them. And you'll see them in each and every single episode of the ABH show. Jason mentioned it, but just let me highlight, it airs tomorrow, Friday, March 25th, on CNBC Africa at 6 p.m. CAT, on DSTV, Star Times, Vox Africa, Rwanda Television, among others. Now, I want you to take a quick peek at this beautiful thing we call the ABH show. Take a look.
Africa will be 40% of the world's population by the end.
work. I'm concerned about the capacity for you to be able to grow.
I'm still trying to grasp exactly what your company does.
It's time on Africa's Business Heroes.
And you will feel the grit, the pressure, the tremor, the sweat. You'll see the laughter, you'll see the tears. And if you are aspiring to apply to the ABH competition 2022, then my biggest advice is to watch the ABH show. You learn a few things from the twists and turns. Now, one of the things that we love about ABH is we don't go it alone. We are almost guided and guarded by the judges. These are industry powerhouses who take it upon themselves to guide these beautiful entrepreneurs with stories, with questions, poking holes here and there, and sometimes even being our biggest critique. People like Fred Swaneker of ALU, and The Room. I mean, Fred has spent so much time with our heroes from top 50 right through to top 20, and we want to say a big thank you to you, Fred, and all of our judges. Speaking about judges, one of our final judges, or our finale judges, is spending a bit of time with us today. And she herself is a trailblazer. We just spoke to her a few minutes ago with words of wisdom and empowerment. Please allow me to welcome our judge, Mrs. Ibukun Awosika. Hello, Mrs. Ibukun Awosika. You're very welcome. We are eager to hear your words of motivation today.
Okay. You excited as always, trying to make somebody else inspire. Since your laughter, your voice in itself, excites a lot of people, and you bring a lot of energy to the room.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure once again to be here. And I'm very proud of what the African Business Heroes Project represents. And I'm thankful to the Jack Ma Foundation for the investment that they're making on our continent and for the impact that their work is producing in the lives of our smart, dynamic, creative, innovative next generation of entrepreneurs who are seeking not just to use their brilliance and knowledge and education, which they gain from different parts of the world, whether locally on the continent or from the best universities around the world, but bringing it all back to apply to the challenges of the continent and to create solutions that not only benefit our continent, but solutions that can benefit the rest of the world. When you talk in terms of entrepreneurship and its impact on the continent, first you have to look in terms of, we have the largest young population in the world of any continent. Africa has the highest number of young people. And when you're talking about a lot of young people, especially when you encourage them and you sell education to them as a game changer, and you educate them, they're diligent and dedicated about going to school, about getting a degree at whatever level, from primary to tertiary level. And they come out and they're unable to get jobs or economic activities that makes them satisfied that they're applying themselves. What you have is a lot of frustration and restlessness. And we can see that playing out in many different ways. Apart from the movement of a lot of our young, bright minds to different parts of the world you also have a lot of those who are then attracted into violence and a lot of the challenges that we have on the continent. So I consider entrepreneurship as a national service, and raising a new generation and an increased number of entrepreneurs is about creating a pool of talents to solve the problems of nations. When to create jobs for the large unemployed youthful population on the continent, the only thing that makes that major difference in job creation for the continent is in creating entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs are job creators. If you create one business that employs 2-3 people, you know that the same business that employs 2-3 people, 1,000 of them means 2-3 times 1,000. So you're talking about 2,000 or 3,000 jobs. But you know, every business that can employ 2-3 people has the capacity to grow to become an employer of 10, 20, 50, and God knows where. And the more we can create businesses, the more we raise the right, enlightened, and empowered entrepreneurs. Now, we have a huge population of what we can term entrepreneurs on the continent, but the largest population of those entrepreneurs are subsistence entrepreneurs. They're not strategic entrepreneurs. They're not entrepreneurs that are positioned to grow. They're not entrepreneurs that are positioned to employ or engage people. Now, the new generation of entrepreneurs that the likes of the ABH project is producing, they're smart, they're educated, they're enlightened, they're empowered, they're strategic in their thinking, and the missing link of information and resources in order to be able to scale is what the kind of prize money that ABH is offering, that's what it does. But you know, the beauty of it is that it's not just about the prize money. The prize money is an enabler, but the biggest part of the entire ecosystem of the African Business Heroes is you're showcasing the talents and the minds of the African young entrepreneur. You're teaching for every show that is produced every year. You teach a lot of people different things that they learn afresh to fill up the missing link in terms of their knowledge as entrepreneurs, which means that you are raising a more enlightened and empowered class of entrepreneurs who have the ability to strategically approach the issues and the challenges of the continent and produce tangible, impactful, life-changing results. And that's what's beautiful about it, is entrepreneurs that can build institutions, that can build corporations. Every large corporation in the world started in the heart of an entrepreneur as a dream. And when that entrepreneur's dream is interpreted, even when it starts on a small scale basis, when you feed it the right things and you create the right environment and opportunity for it, then you have allowed the nucleus of a possible mega company to birth rather than to die. And when you're talking entrepreneurship, when you look at the kind of winners that the ABH has produced, you're solving social problems. We have serious health challenges within the continent because we do not have the right, relevant, and adequate quantum of health infrastructure to support the health of our people. So we can have a healthy population that is productive and effective in growing our economies. But look at the winners. From the first one, where you had a female winner, and that's another great thing about the ABH competition and the role of entrepreneurs. Because if you do not allow women to compete effectively in the corporate environment, they have found how to go into entrepreneurship to play and express themselves. And in the space of entrepreneurship, discrimination of gender is minimized. The ability to deliver value and to create ideas and transform and translate them into value that people are willing to pay for is not given just to male It's something that female and male can compete for. And every person that is willing to pay for a service or for a product wants to pay for the best product or for the best service. And therefore, part of what the ABH project is doing, it's helping to build gender equity. Of 3 competitions, now we have had 2 female winners. The first year was a female winner, Temigiwa Tubosun of Life Bank from Nigeria. The last one was a female winner who is from Egypt. And so there's no gender limitation where entrepreneurship is concerned. Every male, female has a chance to compete, has a chance to express themselves, and entrepreneurship is one space that is an equalizer in many, many different ways. Apart from the fact that in creating entrepreneurial solutions, we are seeking to solve social issues as well. When I think about that young lady that came from, I think it was Rwanda, who I think she was 3rd in the first year, and the problem she was trying to solve is the problem of water. Water is life. And in many African communities, water is a challenge. But by applying her passion, her vision, and her knowledge to create a simple solution that's impacting lives of people in communities that might not have had a chance to have good, healthy water, she is changing lives apart from creating jobs and having a lot more people partake in the economy and be active, healthy citizens of the communities where her business is applied. You know, one other thing that entrepreneurship is providing and which ABH is supporting is the fact that typically when we send the best of our young people to the best universities abroad, they tend, because of the comfort of the countries where they go to school, America, UK, everywhere else, and because of the opportunities that are available in most of those climes, they want to take those opportunities so they can compete globally, and they want to stay there. So we are losing a lot of young people, a lot of young, brilliant minds that African money are strained in Western communities. We are losing them to those communities that have not made the investment in them, which for me is sad, because if we're the poorer nations, we're using our poor resources to train manpower for the development of developed countries. But you know one trend that entrepreneurship affords and which the ABH project has supported? It's a lot of brilliant, smart, young Africans who have great ideas, see entrepreneurship as a way to express it and solve problems on the continent at the same time. And because of the value and the visibility that a project like ABH affords, it actually makes it more attractive for them to think about going back and to think about solving those problems. And the more they see the people who have successfully been able to do it, the more younger Africans are encouraged to come back to the continent and use their knowledge and all that they have learned to help solve the problems on the continent. No one's going to solve our problem for us. We can get facilitators like the Jack Ma Foundation. We can get people who are willing to support what we want to do. But ultimately, we know our problems more than anybody else. We've encountered them, we've lived them. We're also more positioned and better positioned, apart from the fact that it's a matter of the heart, which is what is important about entrepreneurship. It is something you do out of passion. It is something you do out of love. It is a problem you take on to solve, to apply your talents and your resources to, despite, not because, but despite the challenges that you see. Because ultimately, one great entrepreneur can create a major change in a nation. Apple, Microsoft, Intel. I mean, talk about the great American companies. How many are they really? Count those ones who, by the solution that they created, have been able to mop resources from the entire world and morph it into their own country because of skill and capacity. And entrepreneurship can be a major enabler that also closes the gap. It's an equalizer, because if you create the right solution, no matter what part of the continent you're in, money and needs will chase it. And we can see that in the trend of the young Africans in creating payment solutions, creating tech solutions, and that are attracting huge investments from all around the world, because they are using their mind to solve problems that seem like African problems, but those same problems exist in various communities, even in developed nations. And therefore, there's a need. And we are leading in terms of certain areas of innovation. When you're talking about mobile money solutions and a lot of fintech solutions, because of the needs of our own people, a lot of African innovators, fintech entrepreneurs are leading in developing the right solutions that can make a difference. But that kind of solution created in Africa is useful in Asia, is useful in South America, is useful in certain communities, even within Europe or America. And so we can close the gap using entrepreneurship as a tool to solve our social problems and scale them up. Right now, I have the privilege to be the chair of the National Advisory Board for Impact Investing in Nigeria. And I chair the board of a major impact organization, D-Light Incorporated, that is essentially a transformation company that uses solar and solar-based solutions as an equalizer to change the lives of people who are at the bottom of the pyramid, who otherwise are not connected to the grid or can afford alternate power like generators, and it affects them in every sector and every area. And by the solutions that these two one American and one Canadian, both of them met at Stanford, by developing a solution for a problem that they encountered, because one of them's parents was working in an organization that sent them to work in West Africa. And as a young boy, he saw the limitations and the challenges and never forgot about it. And they both connected to try and create solutions that will help to transform the lives of the people that they had experienced. When you come from a place of passion, you're driven to find solutions that are sustainable and that will last. And many young Africans know the problems they see around them. And when they're educated and they have the right resources, they're able to. And that's what's going on now. And so I want to say a big thank you to the Jack Ma Foundation and the ABH team for commitment, for consistency, for dedication, and for diligence to a land that is not their own, but which they have chosen to make their own by the investment and the commitment to help change its story. I know that it's still early days yet, but when you see the sheer number of people that apply each year for the African Business Heroes competition, it shows you how many minds are at work on the continent looking for the right tools in order to deploy and to express themselves so we can have a more productive, economically viable, growing continent. And we will get there. With the support, by the work that we do, by the commitment of our own people to our continent, and with support of outsiders like Jack Ma Foundation, who out of the goodness of their heart are committed to the economic viability of Africa. Entrepreneurship is a game changer. And every single person who goes to school has to be trained with the mindset of an entrepreneur, such that even if you don't start your own company, working as an entrepreneur within an organization, but with the mindset of an entrepreneur, produces a different kind of employee and a different kind of organization. And that, for every one of us, can only be good. because it means we will build greater companies that will last for generations. Thank you very much for listening to me. And whatever it is that you can do, wherever it is that you are, in order to enhance the entrepreneurship journey of the Africans as we seek to change the story of our continent, that's what you must do. And we will always be grateful for it. Have a nice evening.
Mrs. Awosika, thank you so much. Thank you tremendously. Not simply because you spoke words that have hit hearts of Africans across the continent, especially since we're live. Of course, we're in person and we're across Zoom as well, but because it is the right time to hear those words. And just as we say it is the right time, we also say it is African time. It's time to be proud, it's time to be bold with your ideas, and it's time to accept that only you that African, whether you're here with me in Kigali, whether you're over there in Cairo or over there in Kinshasa, only you can solve the continent's problem one after another. So we want you to apply. Take a look at this video on exactly how to apply to ABH 2022.
Are you an African entrepreneur on a mission?
Do you change Africa's narrative?
To change the lives of millions. Are you all about impact?
Impact really excites me.
Do you have a strong vision?
I believe in an Africa beyond aid.
Then it's time for you to enter Africa's Business Heroes, an opportunity to develop your skills and connect with an ecosystem of like-minded entrepreneurs. With world-class mentorship,
to go as far as you can,
training and feedback, you'll learn more about your business, a bit about yourself,
that's my heartbeat,
and gain global recognition as you tell your story, pitch to business legends, and compete for a share of the $1.5 million prize.
It's an opportunity for African entrepreneurs to shine and to impact.
It's time to visit our social media channels and website and enter Africa's Business Heroes. It's African time.
It's African time. I know, but I think it's women's time. Ladies, can you feel it?
Yes.
No, the ladies in the house, can you feel it? Woo! Yes! It is time to be that African woman who says, you know what? I love my great-grandmother. I love my grandmother. I love my mother. But I'm going to show them that all their dreams combined are invested in me, and I'm going to make sure that I'm exemplary. And all these women, Yvette, Christelle, Joan, Ethel, Kevin, all you ladies are so beautiful. Totally beautiful. I could spend the whole evening here talking about how beautiful you are. But I think what is most exceptional about each and every one of you and each and every one of these ladies is they're doing something extraordinary for their community. But today's panel discussion is not going to be that easy. Ladies, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Look at Joanne is like, check out my blonde hair. Okay, ladies. So I brought you something of a bowl that looks like we got it from Wakanda.
Oh,
there's power in that bowl.
Yeah.
Your future children are in that bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. On a more serious note, I would love one of you, I guess Joan, you're in the middle. You can pick up that bowl. When you get the question, Joan, you just look at it. Don't say anything. Don't even show me that you've seen the question. Actually, don't even open it yet. So, mix it up. Don't cheat, Joan. Mix it up. Okay, sister, it's enough. Okay, pass it on to Christelle.
All right.
Christelle, where's my water? I'm thirsty.
All right.
Yvette.
Yeah.
How's the baby?
She's great.
Fantastic. And then pass it down to Ethel. Ethel, I love the haircut.
Thank you.
All right, Kevin. Okay, you can put it back.
Yeah.
Huh. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
All right, so in no particular order, Joan, I'm going to start off with you. Open your question and tell me what it is. Read it to me.
Please give us a reason. Give us one reason why you are not the winner.
Give us one reason. Joan, take your mind back to that moment. Give us one reason why you think you didn't win. And tell us the truth.
Okay.
One reason.
I'm trying to relive that moment. I think one reason why I wasn't able to win was because I didn't believe I was going to win.
Ooh.
I didn't believe it. and somehow I didn't even want to win.
You didn't want to win?
Yeah.
You didn't want the.
I was scared
of
of the. I was scared of the spotlight and the responsibility.
But you know, it is Madame Awosika who said something like, and I'm paraphrasing, you know, that an opportunity is given to us and we have to take it. And I think the lesson in what you're saying is that if you can think that you deserve it, it breaks all kind of barriers, because you did deserve it, as do all of you. But I guess you're teaching us a very important lesson about what the mind can do and how the body can act to what the mind can do.
Sure.
Ethel, what's your question? Tell us the truth.
That was a tough one. Oh. My question is, if you joined the ABH competition again, what will you do differently? Oh.
What would you do differently?
Okay. I think one thing that I would do differently is my teamwork coordination, especially on reality challenge. I think now if I'm to join, the experience that I have now in business, it will make me think fast on my feet.
Yeah.
You know, it was unexpected for me, and when the activity came, I took some time to try to organize, so where am I starting now? But I think I'll do better.
Should we give you another chance? Don't answer it. All right, Yvette, what's your question?
On that note, we need an all-heroes competition at some point.
Okay, so Jason Powell, you're online. Michael Lang, you're online. The ladies said, when all of this is done, you want to wait till the 10 years, or you want to do it now?
after the 10 years.
At the 10 years, they want top of the top.
Top
right?
100.
Let's say like $10 million. $10 million.
Yes.
All right, Yvette, what does your question say?
Well, it's an interesting one. If you can exchange roles with any of the other heroes on the panel for 1 year, who will you choose and why?
Oh, if you had to exchange roles with any of them, who would you choose?
Which role?
Like, you know, take over their business, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Which one would you choose? And be nice, huh?
I know, right? Wow. Exchange roles.
Yeah.
I still don't understand.
Like so whose business would you like to, you know, switch your business with their business?
I get it.
Yeah.
The follow.
I think I will choose Ethel's business.
Because of the money?
Yes. The money, and I love her concept.
Yeah.
The way she's empowering smallholder farmers, low-income people to have access to financial services.
Yeah.
That is key, and we are all giving people services. We need money from them, and then she's giving them that money. I think I'll just, go for it.
But you know you can sponsor ABH, huh?
I received.
All right, I'm going to come to you, Tavine. What does your question say?
My question is, what were you most and least favorite? What were your most and least favorite thing about the ABH competition?
Wow.
Oh, that's a tricky one. So we did the ABH competition in 2019, myself and Christelle, and it was an in-person. We were all there in Ghana, Kenya, Ghana, and all. And my favorite thing is the connection I made with everybody in the top 10, even top 20. The fact that we're now friends. These are people that we go to for financial advice, for anything really, because we're such a diverse group, men, women, mothers, fathers, and huge entrepreneurs now. And we're all on such a wonderful journey. And so that's really my most favorite thing. And then the least favorite thing is really hard to find. Probably that I didn't win as number one, but I feel like I win already.
But why didn't you win?
Another question.
No, it's not a question.
First of all, I think that it was such a great, the winners, amazing. I love them. They inspire me a lot. But I think that anything was possible up there on the stage.
Yeah.
And I feel like I gave it 100%. It was my first pitch ever.
Yeah.
And so I feel like a winner already.
You
Jack
are a
told me
winner.
I was winner and strive.
On a more
so
serious
I'm a winner.
note, you're all winners. I mean, and in every competition, really and truly, only one person can take something home. So I think at that point, you are really all at the same level. But hey, you know, that is life. It is just somebody else's time to shine, you know. But you're all shining though. Christelle, I'm in your country. Give me the answer. You didn't invite me. I brought myself here, by the way.
All right, who was your favorite judge and why? Or which judge would you want to shut off for a day and why?
Oh.
This is a big tie between Jack Ma and Strive, who, so I'll describe both. They all built businesses that were, it was unusual for somebody to even build in their spaces, especially from a for-profit point of view. And this inspires me quite a lot because I'm building in the water sector like Yvette. And it's a sector that most people would say like, oh, that's government, don't bother, don't bother. Yeah. But look at what Jack Ma did. And he wanted to just put Chinese traders on the internet, on the map, to be found online. And look the empire he built with that. And strive to connect people, to be the first to imagine a telco, not towers built by government, but I'm going to do this as a business. So that's why it's hard to choose, but that general idea, and they're my favorite people, their advice is spot on. I remember asking, how do you avoid burnout? And their answer was, I burn out every day. And to be honest, that was something I needed to hear back then, because I used to think as an entrepreneur, I might reach a point where I don't burn out. And to learn from, you know, the giants that know I still burn out. It's like, all right, better make peace with that.
Yeah. I remember that question. That was really interesting because I was like, I mean, when you're smaller, you actually don't burn out. But the more you grow, the more you start to experience.
It's almost like a symbol, right?
Yeah. So it was really empowering for us to hear that.
Yeah. And you know, one thing, I want us to give a resounding round of applause to our judges. I mean, because these are industry greats who commit to talking to us, molding us, you know, guiding us. And they do it anytime, every time, anywhere in the world, you know, and that's really exceptional. So yes, it's true. It's very hard to choose. But I'm going to ask you each a question. I'm going to start off with you, Christelle, because you've just, you know, talked about the judges. But what advantage does a Rwandan have to compete in this Pan-African competition? Looking at yourself, looking at your colleagues who are here, what would you say the advantage is?
Well, it's a charted path. There's already been 3 amazing Rwandan winners. And actually the first year there were a lot of questions, because if you see the winners, they're also from the big giant nations of Africa, like most of the other winners. But Rwanda stands out. If you see our size and how many top 10 we've had, or even top 50 as a country, there's quite a good chance. And I don't know if it was already announced, but ABH is coming closer to home. So every single year. All right.
Yes, you people didn't bring the headquarters to Ghana.
Sorry.
So
are you apologizing? Are you apologizing? I was supposed to ask. I didn't know what but you know something? At this point, it's coming to Africa, and that's worth a celebration. Congratulations to the ABH family, and I think they'll make that announcement official eventually.
All right.
So you get the headquarters, but you know.
Sorry about that, but but basically, if you're in Rwanda, I always remember when Jack Ma came for Youth Connect here, and he wanted to support young Rwandan entrepreneurs. He made that promise to our president. It's something that's been building for a while, and in Rwanda we're used to now, you know, shining a light on what Africa can be when it's doing things right, and a lot of Rwandan entrepreneurs emulate that, and they're an example for other builders across the continent. So I do believe a Rwandan entrepreneur really has high chances, and let's not forget that we're building in a very friendly environment. We're challenged by the market, and I think few entrepreneurs ever really get to be challenged by the market right from the beginning. I feel like sometimes they have all these other distractions and struggles, dealing with policy, with other things, but here you have to put your product on the market right away. So that makes you a good builder right from the beginning. You know your customers, you know your audience, you know your market. So Rwandan entrepreneurs are particularly poised to, and not just by Rwandan, by citizenship, by anybody choosing to build in Rwanda. has a really high chance.
And even I have to underline that Rwanda has gone through its fair share of trials and tribulations. So you are carrying kind of like a flag across the continent to say it doesn't matter where you're coming from. You know, what matters is where you're going to. And I'm so proud that all of you wonderful ladies who are winning are also from here. And talking about winning, I mean, Joan, I mean, I didn't mean to force you to take your mind back to why you didn't win, but you're young.
Yeah.
You don't look it, but you are, because you're mature, you are talented, you are successful, you're all these extraordinary things. But it also probably can be very intimidating as being a young person. Tell me about that experience of intimidation in front of these business giants. You know, your great grandfathers asking you questions. I mean, what would you say was that experience like?
I actually didn't find it that intimidating because I started the business when I was younger than the time I pitched. So I'm used to going to people's offices, talking to people, and when they find out my age, the attitude somehow changes. So because
for the better or for the worse?
Some for the better, some for the worse. But because I experienced that, like from years back, I started trying to mend myself in a way. How would people respect me more? How would people really pay attention to me without really concentrating on my age? So I've acquired skills for myself. I've acquired an attitude, confidence that someone should not tell my age just by looking at me or listening to me. So most people, when I tell them my age, they're like, no way, because after listening to me. So like I've tried to mend myself in a way that I don't get intimidated by people like that, but I ask myself, how do I learn from this? What do I get from this? So me presenting to those
giants
was a great experience, and I was really eager to learn and to listen to what they have to say about me and my business.
Joan, hang on. How would you, now we're going to open up the application, so how would you advise a young person who could probably say, well, I'm too young? How would you teach them? Give me one major thing that you would teach them to avoid intimidation or even doubting themselves because of maybe their age.
I mean, by the time you decide to do something, to take on a big business, to start a business and run a business, you're strong enough. You don't need your age to represent you. You have a business, you're a hero, so you should just apply and go for it because your age doesn't matter. I don't even know why it matters. I don't know why
it shouldn't matter at all.
It shouldn't.
So I hope you can hear that, those of you who want to apply, because I've heard it a lot of times, people saying, well, maybe I'm too young, I'll wait till I'm 30. And I'm like, by the time you're 30, honey, ABH will be over. And we'll be talking to the kings and the queens. Kevin, I want you to talk to me about, maybe we choose 3 major words or key words you've used to become a successful entrepreneur. 3 major ones.
Oh, that's a tough one. That is so hard. First of all, define successful entrepreneur.
Well, I guess really and truly, a successful entrepreneur could be somebody who's living or who's realizing their dream. It doesn't always have to be about the money. I guess somebody who's been able to apply to ABH and has reached the top 10. Somebody who's been able to even find the right partners and collaborators. You never know. If you wanted to open the headquarters in Ghana, maybe.
Absolutely. I think I would say youth, ambition, and passion. Those are the 3 things that really defined me when I was 20 years old starting my business, and also thinking that I am capable, because by the time I started, I have no money to lose, I have no employees to be responsible for, and so I thought I'm going for it. So that's ambition, that's being young, the strengths that I had, and also passion.
Wow. So youth, ambition, and passion. You live with that. Ethel.
And now I'm growing.
Now you're
I'm
older.
a little bit older.
So maturity,
ambition.
Let's not talk about it.
What I'm trying to do now what I'm trying to do with my my team actually is just trying to go back to 8 years ago when we started, 9 years ago when we started, and try to bring back that energy so that we can put that, and we have had so many rejections. We have had so many rejections that sometimes you
still get rejected?
Of course. And sometimes, I mean, there's somewhere you want to get, and there's somebody always in the way telling you, hey, you're not a software, like you're not a technology company. And so really, so you go back there and you're like, I'm going to do it anyways. You're not there when I was starting, and so I'm going to do it anyways. And somehow in the way, there's somebody who's going to believe in you anyways. It takes one person.
But I guess across, it doesn't matter how old you are, you know, there's always going to be that one person who probably looks at you when you walk into the room to say, sorry, I actually thought it was a man who was coming through that room. Exactly. That's what happens. But Ethel, what is the trick you use to reach the top 3? Now that you've already done top 3, tell us, so what did you use?
For me, the trick has been being truthful about myself and my background, and, you know, growing up and trying to engage with other upper class kids. You know, I was embarrassed to talk about myself, to talk about my background, to talk about my passions, the reason why I've been up there. So for me, being in top 3, I thought I have to be truthful about myself, because this is where I was drawing my passion from. Imagine a young girl at 16 running away from a marriage. You know, that, it gave me the drive to say, right, I now understand why I'm here. I now understand how to tell my story. I now have the basis to share with the world to say, if a rural girl did it, you can also do it. Yeah.
You make me want to cry. But I promise my makeup artist, I always promise every makeup artist I won't cry and spoil your No, but I mean, come on. And that's the reality that we have to hear. Like,
it is,
what harder background can you have beyond that? I mean,
imagine. And now, just to top it up, I'm not Dr. Ethel.
Right?
What?
Dr. Ethel.
Dr. Ethel.
How dare I just call you Ethel?
You need to apologize.
I apologize. Please forgive me. But inspiration.
But yeah, sure. So for me, now that I look from where I was coming from and giving back to my community, I'm saying this is the thing the community was waiting for. Was waiting for someone who would come up and would change and challenge the core and challenge the setup altogether. I liked what my friend was telling me, Yvette, to say when my mom was saying, look, that's my baby, my angel. And I said, I'm the Joseph in the family. I'm the last born in a family of about almost, we are still counting more kids.
So you still don't know the rest of your brothers and sisters?
No, not yet, because we actually got another one who popped up last year. So we're still counting. And look, if you look at him, you know, we just look similar.
You know he's your brother.
I know. We just got different mothers.
But put into perspective as in the last one out of, you know, however many, and that's exceptional. You know? Wow. Yvette, the last time we saw you was, okay, so now that it's over, this woman was like maybe a few hours away from labor. And the judges were grilling her. And I said, you judges, you let the woman's water break. I mean, but that is exceptional. You know, I mean, your question is on what next, but I want you to quickly, that moment, Yvette, and nobody could see it because your face is so deceptive. Right. But that moment, and I'm sure tell me what was happening to you and the baby eventually.
Well, actually, when I applied, I knew like my due date was somewhere in November, and I knew that's when the grand finale was going to happen. So I already knew I'm a winner. So I have to think, how am I going to handle the grand finale? If it happens when I'm in the hospital, what's going to happen? Then I was like, you know, this is my business. This is not just about me. This is about so many people, so many Africans, so many children, like the one that I was going to have. And so whatever it takes, even if it takes me to pitch my business on the bed, on the hospital bed, I'm going to do it. So I was really that determined. And I'm glad I made it to that point.
Yeah.
I was relaxed. The team was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm a winner. I'm doing this. Tomorrow I'm having another grand finale. Yeah. And, you know, so it was
So you had
really,
the baby the day after?
Yeah.
Or?
Actually, well, I had some delays. So I had the baby like maybe some few hours after the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a true African.
You know, but I love African women. I mean, this is what it is.
African women.
Listen, and you all have to go, all of you, whether you're online, you have to go online. Now that you've heard the story, please go online and watch the video. You will never see that this woman was hours away from having a baby. I mean, that's pure Mama Africa for me. Exceptional.
Thank
So what's
you.
next, though, Yvette? What's next?
What's next? Growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we now expanding our work. We employing more people. We're giving more people access to clean water. So what's next? Growth and inspire more people.
And we'll be behind you 100%.
Thank you.
So this brings me to the end of our panel discussion. Oh, please, a round of applause for my ladies, wherever you are, Cairo, Kinshasa. Give a round of applause to my ladies. Thank you very much for watching the ABH Ladies Show. Might as well. But thinking about another person who, in the thick of things, also had a baby, but she is standing so tall. She's here to talk to us about the do's and don'ts about applying. But I have to say a big congratulations to her when she comes on your screen. Please welcome ABH Manager for Partners and, of course, Programs, Zara Beatty Boateng. No, stay. You have to go. You have to go. Hello, Zara.
Hello, Anita. Hello, and hello to all the lovely ABH ladies in Kigali. Hello. It is such a pleasure to be with everyone. Although I'm talking about the do's and don'ts of what you should do when you're applying to ABH, I think truly if you just follow the example of the heroes who you just heard from, you will be in a good place. They embody everything that we at ABH stand for and that we look for. And I'm so pleased to see them all together. Their energy, their confidence, their boldness, their resilience are exactly what at ABH we aspire to identify and we aspire to support. And so I'm so glad that they started this conversation and they've highlighted some of the things they wish they had done better. And I'm just here to share with you some of the tips that at ABH we think will enable you to put forward the strongest application possible. To start off, I think it would be worthwhile to discuss who a hero is. So at ABH, we say we're looking for heroes. The name of our competition is Africa's Business Heroes. So who is a hero in our eyes? So a hero is exactly the individuals you saw. They are passionate, bold, resilient, impact-oriented, and importantly, very visionary. What do we want you to do when you're applying? We want you to leverage the application to tell us your story. You heard from the heroes who just spoke. You heard from Ethel, for example, who shared her story. The application is a chance for you to tell us your story and tell us why you are doing what you're doing, why you're running your business, and how are you using your business to create change in your community. And there are, of course, a few key things that we want you to do. And I will go through them during the course of this presentation. The first thing is that it is absolutely critical to start early. The application is a very extensive application. We suggest work on the easy questions first, review the hard questions, know them, ruminate over them, and return to them later. The application is designed to be an introspective process. So hopefully, after going through the application, you'll know yourself better and your business better. And it will also provide you with strong answers you could use for other applications or fundraising opportunities. What we found over the last few years is that some of our strongest applications came from applicants who started the application early. For example, Joan, who is a 2020 top 10 hero, she shared with us that one of the important strategies that she used was start an application early. That gave her time to go back, review the questions, review her answers, and implement feedback as well. So we really recommend that. This is the most important tip. We started applications today, so we encourage you to begin. Don't wait till the last minute. Register now and begin the application. The second tip that I have for you is that it is important to know the application form well and prepare ahead. We have different sections. The first section is our eligibility check. It is critical that you ensure that you're actually eligible to apply. And what are the eligibility criteria for ABH? We require you to be an African, or at least a direct descendant of an African. You need to have a business that is legally registered and proof of that registration. The business needs to be primarily operated in Africa, and you need to have at least 3 years of revenue. So we encourage you to ensure that you're eligible before you even begin. The good news is, if you are not eligible this year, we're running the competition for several more years to come, so you can always apply again. If you're not eligible, you'll be unable to proceed, so we encourage you to confirm you're eligible before you actually go ahead. We have a section for references. These are 2 individuals who can vouch for you, your work ethic, your character. We won't ask them to submit a reference automatically, but we may contact them if we need more information. So think through your contact list, your network. Do you have a colleague? Do you have a mentor? Do you have an investor who can speak about you and your business? If you do, ensure that you have their name, their contact information ready when you apply. There's also another section called the founder profile. At ABH, like I said, we want to know your story. So the founder profile is our chance for us to get to know who you are. In this section, we'll ask you to upload a photo of yourself. We'll ask you questions about who you are. You'll have to upload an ID of yourself as well. So have all those things ready. We also have a business profile, which allows us to just better understand at a very basic level details about your business. The industry you operate in, the country you operate in, for example. We also ask you to upload your registration document just for us to ensure that you are in good legal standing. We also have a business deep dive section. In this section, you will need to ensure you have your financials ready for at least the last 3 years. So we encourage you, if you don't have all those things ready, to start that process now. So by the time you're applying, it's easy for you to do so. And of course, for many of our heroes, this is one of their favorite parts of the application, I believe, the video introductions. It's an opportunity for you to tell us who you are via video. You get a chance to record yourself, record aspects of your business, and also feature team members, a customer, to give us a sense of who you are, what it is that moves you, and who the personality is behind the application that we're reading. So it's a chance for you to have fun. It's a chance for you to express yourself, to show us your business, to show the impact that you're making. And we ourselves really look forward to the videos. But it does take time to do, so we encourage you, again, to start early. Be concise. ABH has strict word limits throughout the application. Please ensure that you stick to it or you won't be able to proceed. It's key that you assume that the person who is reading it only has a few seconds. Our judges are reading through hundreds of applications, so ensure that you're putting forward the most salient points in the most memorable way possible. I provided an example of a concise but insightful answer. This answer, one of the things that I love about it is just from the topic sentence, it's very clear what it is they do. So Mukuru Clean Stoves designs, manufactures, and distributes improved, efficient, and reliable cook stoves. It's very clear what it is they do, what their unique selling proposition is. So try to be concise. We actually don't need a long essay to really understand what you're doing. Try to tell us in as few words as possible. Think of it as an elevator pitch. Be memorable and bold. You saw the energy of our female heroes in Kigali. They're bold, they're audacious, and don't be afraid to put your best foot forward to tell us your story. We encourage you to be authentic. The more authentic you are, the more compelling you'll be. And so tell us your story, tell us in your own voice. Do not try and fit the mold. If you see examples in the application, don't try to just emulate that, but really try to tell it in as compelling of a way as possible and in a voice that is true to you as possible. Again, make sure your application stands out. Why is the problem you are solving urgent? Why should judges care about the problem that you're tackling? Tell judges this in the most compelling way possible and explain why your solution is ideal. Again, this is another example. I know we're running out of time. You'll have access to this later. But I think from this example, one of the things that we really like is that she starts by telling us her personal story and linking it to the larger issue. And this is thus compelling. Ensure you are persuasive with examples and data. In order for us to understand the urgency of the problem you're solving or understand why your solution is unique, please ensure you use data. Use numbers, use figures, and cite sources where possible in order for us to understand that the numbers you're providing are legitimate. So again, with Mukuru Clean Stoves, Charlotte was one of our top 10 last year. You can see in her example, she uses numbers quite a bit. For example, 36 million Kenyans have their health negatively impacted. She also talked about the number of deaths that occurred due to the problem she's solving. 18,000 deaths are attributed to hazardous air pollution every year. So just from her answer, I can see that I can quantify the problem, and I can realize that this is a very urgent problem, and thus it's one that deserves to be solved. Sharing some tips from you from some of our past heroes. Antonio, for example, stresses that it's important to concentrate on your strengths. Take your time, go through the application. You can only do this, of course, when you start early. And again, use a video introduction to your advantage. Ethel, who you've also heard from today, her key advice, please show up. For many people, they don't even give themselves a chance. Perhaps you look at the application or you look at the past top 10 and you think you may not necessarily be one of them. But the most important thing you can do, the best tip I can give you, is to show up for yourself and to go for it. Give yourself the opportunity to actually win this, and it's very possible. The other tip is to leverage the wide variety of ABH resources that we make available. It's possible for you, for example, to download the application. This will allow you to go through the application offline, especially if there are network connectivity issues in your area. You'll be able to type in your answers offline. You could even share it with a mentor or a co-founder, colleague. They can give you feedback. You can then paste your answers into the online application form at your convenience. So we recommend that you consider doing this. We have an application guide online. Read through it thoroughly. We provide tips and insights that will help you through your application. Also, throughout the application, you'll see an icon as highlighted here, an eye, or you'll see tips, or you'll see examples. Click on it. We provide detailed insights. We provide explanations so that you understand what it is we're aiming for, or we provide you with a way to understand the question better. So it's throughout the application. Please use it. I think it will answer many questions that you may have. We also have application workshops that we hold throughout the application period. We'll have some in April, we'll have some in May. It will be an opportunity to hear firsthand from heroes about how they tackled some of the questions. You'll be able to ask your questions. Judges will be able to give you feedback and insights. So we highly recommend you attend. You can subscribe.
Zara, do we still have you?
You can chat with them in real time. They'll be able to give you feedback. You can also send emails, of course, and WhatsApp messages. So these are some of our key tips. And I'll summarize that session with a quote from Chibozo. He again suggests that you should pace yourself. I've already said it, answer the easy questions first and move on to the more challenging ones. Remember, it's a marathon and not a sprint. So it does take time, but pace yourself well. And then know your business. Why your business? Why is it important? Why does it exist? And most importantly, just go for it. And of course, in as much as there are key things you should do, there are also many things you shouldn't do. So one of the things you shouldn't do, of course, is, I think by this point you all know well, you shouldn't wait. Fill your responses early and make sure you get ahead. Don't overcomplicate your answers. It's very easy to do so, but keep your answers simple. Assume the person on the other side isn't familiar with your industry. So avoid jargon, avoid technical terms. Don't provide false financial info. It is easy perhaps for some people to do this because they perhaps want to just get ahead. However, we conduct due diligence on all our companies, so please try to be as accurate as possible. Even if you had a bad year, please let us know, because it does also allow us to see how have you grown, how have you overcome a setback, how have you navigated COVID, for example. So please be as accurate and honest as possible. Also, please don't be hypothetical. So sometimes we see applications that are based on an idea. That will not work because we're looking for businesses that have track record, proven track record. And so even if your business has, you have a new plan or project you want to implement, we ask that your answers are based on your current solution and your current approach, as opposed to just future approaches. So please ensure that you are providing us with answers that demonstrate your track record. And then lastly, don't give up. We encourage you to push to the end. It is a long application, it's hard, but there's so many benefits that you can hopefully gain. And so we encourage you to push through it, don't give up, and hopefully at the end, it will be truly a worthwhile experience. To summarize, we will be joined by an illustrator who will actually capture some of what I've shared in hopefully a memorable way that will help you really remember some of these key tips and do's and don'ts. And I think two of our heroes, Violet Amabeng, who was a 2021 top 10 hero, and Gourmet Abraham, also summarized it well. You know, they explain that ABH is a game changer. It's a stressful, it can be stressful, but it is definitely worthwhile. And your job at the end of the day is to let us know the hero that you are, and to use application as a chance to tell your story. Thank you. Maybe we can have a look at the illustration now as well. Great. So just to summarize again, start early, be memorable, be bold, be concise, leverage all the resources that we have, and learn from our heroes. So watch their pitch videos and attend our application support workshops. And we hope that it will help you get to the other end. And we can't wait to have your applications. All of you are who make ABH what it is. And so we are looking forward to applications and can't wait to see you on the other side.
Thank you so much, Zara. And I absolutely love the illustration. Need to get one of those for myself. But Zara just kind of like outlined all the things that you need to know. I've got a number of questions here, but I think I have only time for about 3 of them. Ladies, you have some of the questions. But Zara, if you're still with us, one of the questions that has come in is, hi, my name is Kenneth, and there are 2 of us who own the business. When 2 of us apply, can we pitch together? Zara, are you there?
I am here, yes.
Good. So Kenneth wants to know if the 2 partners will pitch together.
Only one will pitch. So because one person will apply, one person will pitch.
Beautiful. This question goes to you. Oh, Dr. Ethel. Okay, my name is Zanabu. I have a similar challenge as you did. How do you overcome it? Or how did you overcome it is what I think she's trying to ask. So I think a similar challenge in terms of early marriage and how you were able to overcome it in 30 seconds.
Okay, so I think how you challenge is that you have to believe in yourself. For me, I knew God is in control. I knew God is in control. So you need to believe in yourself. You need to have confidence. You need to be passionate about what you do, and you get through it all.
Okay. Zara, this is for you. Kwame from Ghana, Kwame, says, my business is only 2 years old. Can I still apply?
Unfortunately, you can't. We only accept businesses that are at least 3 years old and thus have 3 years of financial history.
Oh. Okay. Still for you, Zara, Mary says, what if I make a mistake with my application the first time? Can I reapply in the same year?
Before the deadline, yes, you'll have a chance to go back into your application and to make edits. After the deadline, you won't be able to do that. But if you haven't already submitted, the deadline has passed, you'll be able to access your application later and thus reuse it, edit it for future applications. And that also applies to the person who perhaps is not yet eligible. You can always apply in future years when you are.
Thank you, Zara. This question is from Kenny in Nigeria. It's to you, Christelle. I also run a similar business in water. What is the one thing I need to pay attention to if I want to scale? That's Kemi from Nigeria.
I think the biggest one since COVID is to really watch your unit economics, because water is a volume business mostly, but especially if you're serving the poor, as we've seen the numbers, COVID has had a really bad effect on extreme poverty. A lot of people have been pushed back into extreme poverty. So it's to balance your response as a business and your response as a person who cares. I think initially within COVID, we really, as a business, had to make a decision. Do we still push our business models, or do we stand for our customers? And actually that challenged us as a business to formalize ways we can still subsidize even the extreme poor, because before we were kind of like, we're serving the poor, but there's levels to poverty. There is extreme poverty, there's vulnerable poor, and there is poor who can afford something. And so in light of COVID, as we scale, that's become really the most important question, is how do we as a business, as we go give people an essential need, a human right that is water, how do we ensure we have internal resources to also still respond with compassion and relief when it's called for, such as in the case of COVID.
Right.
So that's something I would really advise. But at the same time, it's a business that deals with people's health big time. So making sure your quality control and processes that control your quality are there early on is so essential. If you don't build it when you have 1,000 customers, it will be tough when you have 100,000. Yeah. It will be impossible when you have 1 million. So you have to build those quality checks and quality control processes right early on.
Okay, thank you very much. I will squeeze in 2 quick questions because it's important and you guys have logged on. Zara, back to you. Zainab wants to know, when I'm applying, is it okay if I apply along with my mentor? I guess what she means is, can she get help with her application?
Yes, you can. You can get help with the application. When you download the application, for example, you fill in responses, you can definitely solicit feedback from friends, family, mentors. So yes, certainly you can.
Okay. And one more for you, Zara, before you leave us, is coming from Abdullah, and he wants to know, if I didn't make it to the top 50 last year, can I apply again this year?
Yes, most certainly. We welcome people to reapply. I think some of our heroes have actually, people who made the top 10 have actually applied twice, in some cases, even 3 times. So certainly we welcome you to reapply.
Zara, I think those are the questions for you. We don't have a lot of time to go through all the questions, so thank you very much. Zara, the last question, I will throw it to you, Yvette. I guess maybe Yvette and Joan can share it. What does it take for a woman to stand out in ABH? Which for me, it's like, we've had women winning, but Sherry says, what does it take for a woman to stand out and to win? Yvette, you can split with Joan.
Yeah, I think, first of all, be you, because you're special already. Be authentic and tell your story. We'll find that business, like women-owned businesses, most of them have really inspiring stories behind them. Tell your story. Like, people want to hear that story, and that's really what makes you stand out. Yeah.
Thank you. Joan?
I would say to believe in yourself and not take you being a woman as a vulnerability or making you like a victim, or just to be yourself, as Yvette said, to be yourself, be honest, and give it your all. Like, I mean, we're all giving it our all, like, give it all you got.
And know that you deserve it.
Right. Exactly.
You deserve it. Now, but the men also deserve it. Please, can you give the men a round of applause? You know, they're beginning to be very quiet in this room because it's like, is ABH only for the women? No, it's for the men and the women. But of course, we like to celebrate and highlight the fact that 50% of the top 10 in all 3 years have been women, and 50% of our applications have also come from women. So it's a big, 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 big deal. Now we're going to go for a quick 5-minute comfort break, but an announcement I forgot to make. We've got a fun scavenger hunt. I've got prizes to give out. I've got money to give. Where's my handbag? I've got cash to give. I hope you don't beat me when you find out it's not even true. But we've got a fun scavenger hunt, and you have to look for 5 words in the venue, in the location. Put these words together, and the first 5 people to to string the sentence together will win a prize from me. All right? That I can promise you. Okay, we've got a 5-minute comfort break. Please do have conversations, network, do all the fun things because ABH is all about community building. All right? Enjoy your 5-minute break. We'll be right back after the 5 minutes.
So we...
Hey.
Mama can't help it so. Yeah, you won't capture my soul. Mama can't help it so. Look at one more. Better, I'm loose. Even better done the para. Not in Josie, I'm in Josie. Won't go if you want Josie. I'm not playing with you, I'm not joking. My daughter, mom is loaded. You can back up, I'm on board. I'm on duty, but I'm on low. They want do me, they want do me, they want do me, cause they want do me. When you won't want me, when you won't want me, I'm in San Francisco, Jammy. When you won't want me, when you won't want me, I just flew in from my baby, I'm loose, even better. Lately I've been losing my mind. Certain things I can't find. In the middle of the night, I'm still up, I'm still trying to decide. Should I drink up, smoke up, need some freedom back in my life? Should I drink up, smoke up, need some freedom? Show me a little attention, a little attention. Show me attention. Show me a little attention, yeah. Show me a little attention. Little love and some affection on this side. Little trust and some passion, be nice. It's all I desire. Once a picking balance, we picking your time. When you move like a shadow, give me a no bell. I can shout, you daily body, when I show for your body, them on your
just the thought of you, I lose it all, and my heart goes beating to the speed of sound. Oh, I try not to give in, but your ways make me spin too late, cause I've got you under my skin. Ever since you walked in, you brought with you the best days of my life. Ever since you walked in, I got sunshine too by my side. You make mine, you make my heart beat move to the speed of sound. You make mine, you make my heart beat move to the speed of sound.
Holy Father, I'm screaming my Lady Gaga. She got me in my feelings, I'll be Adam. Father's got enough feeding. Holy Father, my Holy Father, Holy Father, Holy Father, I'm screaming my Lady Gaga. She got me in my feelings, I'll be Adam. Father's got enough feeding. Holy Father. time. See my body like your wine, but she do me something that time. She don't want Gucci design, but she do me something that time. My body like your wine, but she do me something that time. I go go, give me a chop, me I go solo. Is it like a dum 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 dum? You money my sham sham sham. I go go, give me a chop, me I go solo. Is it like a dum dum dum? You money my sham sham sham. My soul, my soul, to be the popo, pampo, io so, my popo, my soul, my soul, my soul, my popo, to be the popo, pampo, io so, my popo, my soul, my soul, my popo, to be the popo, pampo, io so, my popo, my soul, my soul, my soul, my popo, to be the popo, pampo, io so, my popo.
Jimisa sebe yekungisabisa sebe funa ukungithembisa ebathi bakwa pleshani awusenqala ukubajimisa sebe yekungisabisa sebe funa ukungithembisa ay ebathi umsebenzi wami uzongisiza nangekela umayisiza themba akekho ozongivika ngihamba nomaphorisa umsebenzi wami uzongisiza nangekela umayisiza themba akekho ozongivika ngihamba nomaphorisa ebathi bakwableshani sebecela ukungijimisa sebeyeka ukungisabisa sebefuna ukungithembisa bathi bakwableshani sebecela ukungijimisa sebeyeka ukungisabisa sebefuna ukungithembisa.
All right. Around it. And so we are back. I'm here live in Kigali, of course, Rwanda, and I believe that Cairo has gone off to have their own roundtable right now, and so has Kinshasa. So we're rounding up here, and then, of course, I neglected to mention, if you have questions that you would like to ask my panelists who are coming on, please feel free to put it in the chat box, and of course, my team will make sure that those questions are answered. Absolutely. Now, coming up, we have a conversation about entry and competition tips and guidelines, and that conversation, or those guidelines and tips, will be given to you by none other than our ABH Hero alumni, Yvette Ishim. Yvette, please come and join me over here, and then you can tell us about all the guidelines. You can sit right next to me, which is fine. So Yvette, do us the honors of walking us through the entry competition tips and guidelines. What would you say?
Yeah, first, make sure you give correct information about yourself and your business, because in the next round, is my mic okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sure. Yes, one of the guidelines is make sure you give the correct information about yourself and your business, because in the next rounds, that's going to be evaluated and audited. So make sure you don't, mess up with that. Second is start earlier. I think Zara talked about that. Really, the earlier you start to work on your application, the better application you're going to make. Right. Give it time, one question at a time, and even if you can answer one question a day, but make sure you really, really give it your all. I would say really those are the key things. and go for it.
Because you can forget a few things if you're rushing.
Absolutely.
So it's almost as if as long as you have time and
Yeah.
you start early,
Yeah.
like answer one question every day.
Exactly.
Or every week.
Exactly.
You know?
One other thing is the ABH application is, they're looking for heroes, for business heroes. And this is a business competition, not an NGO kind of thing. So make sure, even though you have impressive social impact, you clearly elaborate your business model. How do you make money? How is your financial, sustainability? How are you making money, and how do you plan to grow your financials? It's very key. Even in the next rounds, they are very keen on that. So make sure you have your numbers right and you understand them.
What are the what did you use? When you're applying,
yeah.
What's the one thing that you did very religiously, Yvette?
I'll say really, first of all, I approached the application with a grand prize winner mindset. That's very key. This wasn't the first time that I applied. Actually, this was my third time.
Was your third time applying?
Absolutely.
The first time, how far did you go?
I didn't even make it to the top 50.
No way.
For the first and the second time. And one of the reasons why I think I didn't make it to even top 50, first, I worked on my application later, one day before the deadline. And I was rushing through all the answers. The application is quite long, so you have to really give it enough time. And also, the mindset, I was kind of intimidated. I was like, can I really make it? So the third time, I was like, you know what? I think I'm a winner. So I have to approach this with a different kind of approach and strategies. And that really worked.
Did you have someone helping you answer the questions? Like maybe further explaining, maybe a mentor or a guide or business partner, further explaining what they think the question is asking you to do?
I didn't. I really worked on everything alone. But I think if you have an opportunity to have someone who can really read through your application and give you tips, that would be a great opportunity. Go for it. Yeah.
All right. Yvette, thank you very much. You're staying here because I'm sure I'll have some more questions for you. Now we have some awards to hand out because some of you did some really wonderful gestures in your pictures, and we're awarding 5 top images per city. Okay, wow. So we're awarding 5 top images right here, Kigali, Kinshasa, Cairo. And in Kigali, our sponsors are Uzuki K and Y vouchers, $25 vouchers for each one of these winners. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, got a nice smile, sir. You look like you are winning $1.5 million. Okay. Where is she? Okay. Oh, see this guy and his swag.
Wow.
All right. $1.5 million winner looks like it. Oh, this guy looks like we should give him the whole $10 million. He looks good. And these are our winners right here in Kigali. Team, correct? Right here in Kigali. Okay.
Yeah, look at her.
So $25 vouchers proudly sponsored by Uzuki K and Y.
Yeah.
So you get to spend that voucher very smartly. Can we take a look at what's happened in Cairo and in Kinshasa as well? No? Because we don't want to know what's going on there, right? Yeah. I got you, team. But of course, I do still have to say a big thank you to Kinshasa. Your vouchers are sponsored by Anchor Vouchers. And in Cairo, of course, Khadija, Praxilab Vouchers. So a round of applause for our winners. And as a rule, because I'm the ABH official host, $25 voucher, I get 2%. After all, I brought you here, no? Okay, let me be fair. Moving right along, one of the things that we talked about even on our panel was, judges, and Joan talked about it. She didn't feel intimidated. Also because we have judges that make you feel so relevant, so human, and they more or less inspire you. What do the judges look for? We want to hear it from one of our judges, and of course, I would like to bring onto the stage Mutanga. Mutanga, where are you? Please give him a round of applause. President Mutanga. Please have a seat. Now, I didn't pronounce your first name because I keep forgetting. They keep teaching me, I keep forgetting. What is it? It's Aphrodise. Aphrodite. What does that name mean?
I don't know.
You don't know? Yes. But on a more serious note, Aphrodite, as a judge, surely you have tips. What are the right things Or what do you look for as a judge? What do you look for in the application?
Thank you very much. The first thing,
yes.
Thank you very much. It's on?
I do believe it's on.
Okay. The first thing, when you are applying, you have to tell your story. Tell your story first.
Tell the story.
It attracts people. Second, have numbers that are backing whatever you are doing.
Real numbers, don't fake them.
Exactly. You know, and the third one, make sure you tell people the market size in terms of money. Like, don't they say, you know, the market size are 200,000 people. No, because the investors understand one language. How I will get my money back. So tell them in terms of, like, the market size is $20 billion in Africa, in East Africa, and make sure you present your team well.
Okay.
Like, because like a business to succeed or anything, you need the right team. So yeah.
Okay, so Aphrodite, what I want you to do is, I hope I can take your mind back to maybe an application or two that you saw. What was the difference between an application that could have made it? You know, you saw the application and said, if only he or she had A, B, C, and D, and an application that is an example, just a typical, not necessarily the applicant, but what did that application or that applicant miss that they could have made it?
Just one of them forgot about numbers.
Forgot about numbers, yeah.
And how the business can grow and can go in other countries. And how the person should customize the business.
So as a judge, do you look for sustainability, adaptability, and what if I've created a business that's really only good for maybe Abuja, you know, because of maybe the product that I'm creating or the audience but I've still been in business for 5 years maybe, I'm making a lot of money, but if I scale or if I expand my business, it doesn't really apply to other countries. What then happens to my application?
You know, everything depends on the number of users or beneficiaries. So once anyone can see that the numbers are not growing, it's not attractive to anyone. But once you have not only Abuja, you have Lagos, you have Accra, you have Lome, you know, there a judge can say, you know, the business is growing, is something I can put money in. I can even vet to say, you know, I'm supporting even someone who is going to go beyond the country, his or her country.
Okay. If I may ask you, there also are some entrepreneurs who don't want to scale because of the uniqueness of their product, the uniqueness of their service. I remember last year, not necessarily not want to scale, but something came up. I remember, and if I may respectfully you bring that up, where Violet's business, Violet's from Ghana, Violet's business is, you know, creating share products. But the highlight of her business and her mission as it is right now is having more or less, you know, grassroots women, etc., to manufacture with their hands. So the question is, this is authentic to this community. It feeds this community. The moment I start to bring machinery and the like, then it waters down. But what do you do if that is the highlight of my business?
I think every business in the world can scale. You just need to customize according to the needs of the people you are serving.
Yeah.
So I think the solution she was doing, can be
can be scaled.
Exactly.
Okay. What other tips do you have if you think about the hundreds of applications you've looked at, the ones who didn't make it and the ones who made it? Is there anything that stands out in addition to what you would like to share with our potential applicants?
Yes, 3 things.
Go ahead, please.
1, to have the right product within the right time. Timing is really key factor. The second, to have the right team, because whoever looking into a business, he will say or she will say, does the person it has in place the right team.
Right.
The third one is the business model. How is that business making money? And the third point is like the main key factor, how business is making money. Then from there you can scale, and anyone is happy to join will be more than happy to join the venture.
Okay, does a judge look out for, you're talking about team, do you look out for the number of people in the team, or do you look out for the effectiveness?
Effectiveness.
So if I have 5 people in my team, but then I can show how they're all effective and the role they play, I'm okay.
Very okay.
Okay. Now, Yvette, before I finish off with Judge Mutanga, I'll call you Judge Mutanga now.
Yes.
Yvette, what he's talking about, all the things that he, as a judge, he's outlined.
Yep.
Of all of them, which one did you miss the most in your first application? Because I don't want to talk about where you were successful. I want to talk about where you tripped, so that it's a key message to the potential applications. Which one did you miss the most if you're thinking about what he said?
I think I missed the part to explain well that my product, my service is right and in the right time, as he said. Yes, I know, like, my product, my business is essential, but I didn't really explain that really well to really, support how it is right and in the right time. I think that's really what I missed.
Okay.
And the other thing, many entrepreneurs, they forget to mention the size of the market. This is something really big, really important.
You see it a lot, that people just don't mention the size of the market.
Not at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe they're intimidated? Maybe they don't know?
I don't know, but I think some of them, they don't have access to the right data. Data is a big, access to data is also another issue.
Yeah. Yes. Does any one of you have any questions on the floor? Anyone at all? Have you all applied to ABH before? Nobody has applied in this room before. Woo, I'm so excited. Mr. Director, can we take a question on the floor? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so...
Sorry, just one moment. I'm just going to give you a microphone, please. Tell us who you are and where you're from.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Johnny Snee. I am from Monrovia, Liberia. I was in Kenya for a meeting and saw the opportunity to come here and be in person instead of online. I've noticed, I went through all of the past heroes, and I think the speaker that came up first, she spoke about how we have these big tech firms that people are funding in Africa. I've noticed that none of the big heroes are like a funded tech firm. So if you're one of these firms that are getting funding from abroad, is that decreasing your chances of actually winning this event because of your success early on?
I really wish Zara were here to answer that question, but Judge Mutanga, do you want to, do you think you have the answer for that? I mean, someone's already getting funding. Does that spoil the chances of ABH?
No, I don't think so. The good thing about applying with ABH is that even with the questions, they ask those questions that push you to think more about your business. And the other thing, you get the feedback from the judges. And some of the judges are experienced people who can even recommend people to work with.
Yeah. And also, just anybody else with a question? But I just wanted to add to you, Diara, who was, I think Diara was she from your cohort or the cohort before? Yeah. She has this fantastic fashion business that has enjoyed some amount of awards and funding already. But what was different about ABH, beyond the fact that she was also able to prove everything Judge Mutanga is saying, was the fact that the judges, the finale judges, Strive, Jotai, Mrs. Awosika, were able to poke holes, not just in her business structure, not that it's not good, but what she could do better. So I think that's the other thing about ABH. You won't lose out from the competition because you are getting funding, but you will also be helped to see what perhaps nobody else has been able to see. And most importantly, if I may say so on behalf of ABH, there's nothing ABH celebrates more than the growth of its ABH community. So I can say that hand on heart, and I speak on their behalf, but I think I'm right, that there's nothing more attractive than an entrepreneur who is either already kind of building, or one that, if the person hasn't built at all, after ABH is kind of leapfrogging. So I don't think it's a it's a deal breaker of sorts. Yeah. Anybody else on the floor right here in Kigali with a question? Everybody's comfortable. Yvette, last words. What would your last words be?
Well, just to encourage African entrepreneurs, please go for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can go on YouTube and watch past ABH heroes and, feel intimidated and you're like, oh my God, they're huge. Like, how can I really be part of that? But don't compare yourself or your business with others. Because you're special, your business is unique, and so you are. Make sure that you bring that special sauce of yours out there.
Yeah.
And the last thing is make sure that you have metrics. It's good to talk about the social impact that your business is making, but make sure that you have metrics to support that impact that you're claiming to make. And this is really a great opportunity. Don't look at ABH application as something that you just want to get that prize money from. The application itself is a tool. It's a tool. If you really work on it really, really well, you can use it for future fundraising efforts. If you answer every question really well, because these questions are really common in many fundraising kind of applications. Your market information, your problem, the problem you're solving, the solution, have them answered really well, and that is going to be used for other fundraising efforts. Lastly,
actually,
the videos.
Yvette, you know what?
Yes.
I don't want you to stop. Sorry, no, I want you to pause for a minute.
All right.
Yeah, because I just realized we have a question there, so I want you to be able to answer, or you or Aphrodite. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So can a business that started in 2019 doing a business model, one business model, then pivoted to doing another business model in 2021, the same business, can that business apply until choose that I've been in business for 3 years, but now is a different business model because I pivoted in 2021? Does that still qualify as a 3 years of doing that business, or that means you are just starting with the new business model?
I'm not sure if I'm the right person to respond, but as a judge, as long as the business is still is going on, I'm happy to look into it. Yeah.
But what we'll do is, because I think Zara has logged off, but we can ask her that question so that you can ensure that, in addition to what Mutanga said, that you have, because it can be a gray area sometimes. But like you said, as a judge, it's probably...
Yeah, I think every business pivot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So to change the business model, it's not to change the business.
Yeah. Have the product and the services changed?
Yes, so the product and the services has changed, and the branding.
Okay, so is it safe to say it's a completely new business then? Because it's not providing the same product?
Yeah, you can say it's a business that branched out of the main business that is now taking over the main business.
Is it so? Can I describe it as a subsidiary now?
Yes.
The old business still exists?
Yes.
Okay, but then this is one that has branched out.
Yes.
I think I'll get clarity for you from the ABH team. It's a very important question, I guess, and I'm sure there are people who have also probably had a business for 10 years and maybe only last year or 2 years ago decided to pivot or to change. It's a very valid question.
Yeah.
Do I have any more questions in the house, please? Yes, back to you, sir. The microphone is walking to you right now. Very interesting question. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's sort of to add to hers, right? So you could have had a business last year that was a physical store location, and then you can move it to e-commerce. So you change the name from the e-commerce, and are you going to apply with a physical store location, or are you going to apply with the e-commerce, which is making more money and will look better for the application? So I think it's the same thing, right?
It's almost like in the same vein.
Yeah, it's the same
so
question.
a few points we have to look at is it the same business essentially? Yeah. Because the same business can rebrand, and it can move from physical, brick and mortar, to online, but still have the same ethos and still have the same target market, whatever it is.
Right.
So I think we will seek some clarity for you before we leave the venue today.
All right, thank you.
My dear Tahira, if you have a note of that, kindly, so we'll ask the the ABH team those questions. Anybody else in the audience? All right. We're good? Fantastic. Well, President Judge Mutanga, thank you very much, Aphrodise. Very unique name. And Yvette, your last point you were about to make before the lovely lady asked that question.
Yeah, I was going to highlight on the part of video introductions. Those are, I think that's something I would have done better in the past applications when I didn't make it to the top 50. Like I could just say, my business is la 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 la, you know, that's boring. Yeah. So maybe you may not need to really hire a professional videographer, but make sure that you really prepare the content of your videos. Especially you introducing about your business, who is going to be in the customer testimonials, who is going to be in the team introductions. Make sure you really prepare that content and make sure that your business key things are really highlighted, because that's really an opportunity for you to impress judges, so don't mess up with it.
Aphrodise, can you, on the back of that, just before we wrap up, can you tell us, do you remember one very important video maybe you saw that it really showed you that the person was well invested in this? Do you remember at all?
I can't mention the name.
No, don't mention the name.
But one of the videos I remember well is a lady. I don't think she used the video. She used the phone. I think she had even the editors. You know, when you see the way she was invested, you said even this person is really even serious in her business.
Yeah.
By seeing only the video.
Yeah.
You know, she put all the numbers. She said, my name is, I'm from, and this is what I'm doing. This is the problem I'm solving. This is the solution. This is why you should join me.
So all of this, what we're saying is, even at the application stage, be invested.
Really?
No, even before, like prepare, have your presentation, what is the problem, what is the solution, what is the business model, what the team, how am I going to make money, everything.
Yeah.
Then from there, once you have the questionnaire, you can respond easily.
Okay. And whatever you do, find a way to find data.
If they can be found.
If they can be found. Yes. Fingers crossed. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Judge and Madam Hero, for joining me and for also, kind of spotlighting exactly what our applications and our applicants need to know. All right? So you get to sit here while I finish the show. All right? You want to finish the show for me, though? You don't want to? All right, sure. No problem at all. Okay, so we have a winner of 5 winners for our scavenger hunt. Wow. I've completely forgotten what they get for a prize, though. What did they get? Nothing, right? The voucher? Or what about the $1,000 that I gave you? Just joking. You get a voucher, and that's good enough. All right, so Dawit Kasu is in the house. Dawit Kasu, all right. Akram Eladwe, Devon Clark, Carl Muraj, and Charlotte Mugai are the winners of our scavenger hunt. Congratulations to everybody. What are you upset about? That you didn't win? All right, so of course, like we said, I'm live here in Kigali. Cairo is doing their thing. Kinshasa is doing their thing. Ultimately, what I do want to encourage each and every one of you to do is apply. Go online on our social media platforms. Ask more questions if there is any doubt about what you're going to put in your application. Trust me, as the host, and of course Yvette, and all the beautiful heroes that you've seen from here across the continent, there's nothing more fulfilling than getting to that point where somebody really believes in you and is giving you that seed money to pivot, to move from one stage to another. And it's $1.5 million at stake. $1.5 million. Listen, at ABH, we always say, we don't only believe in the applicants, we believe in the African entrepreneur. And there's one thing that we stick to, and we'll stick to forever, and that is, it's African time. My name is Anita Erskine. From here, I look forward to seeing you, hearing you, speaking with you, and hopefully seeing you at the final lap, top 10. Bye-bye. Oh, hang on. DJ Infinity is in the house.
To make this society thrive.
It's that time again.
Can we party on a Thursday? How many of you are supposed to go back to work? How many of you are supposed to? Your bosses don't know you're here. Okay, so we will not put the camera on you. DJ Infinity, take us home.
It's time for them to lead the way.
I think I'm scared about today's challenge.
Are we creating a business or we are just doing this to solve a community problem?
The strategy is solid. The hope is that it will win.
We're going for SDG Goal 2, Zero Hunger.
It's time for them to rise to the challenge.
The time constraint it's a bit insane.
We are exhausting my friend.
Game changer.
What is this?
I feel annoyed. I've been working for 5 hours straight on this.
As they compete for their share of $1.5 million.
How do you ensure that your economics work?
I'm concerned about the capacity for you to be able to grow.
I'm still trying to grasp exactly what your company does.
It's time on Africa's Business Heroes.
I'm sipping wine in a robe. I look too good to be alone. My house clean, my pool warm. Just shake smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the east wing and the west wing of this mansion. What's happening? I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from my heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. That you feel the way I feel and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming. Elle est un mari qu'il aime. Il est une femme qu'il aime. Mais trop de sang et sang et sang et maman. Mais trop de sang et sang et sang et pourquoi? Elle est Elle est un mari qu'il aime. Il est une femme qu'il aime. Mais trop de sang et sang et sang et maman. Mais trop de sang et sang et sang et pourquoi? Elle est un mari qu'il aime. Il est une femme qu'il aime. Mais trop de sang et sang et sang et maman. Mais trop de sang et sang et sang et pourquoi? On me dit que t'as déjà doté la petite là-bas. 2-3 commerces, 2-3 femmes et surtout Kinshasa. On me dit que bébé. On me dit que bébé. On te dit il faut m'emballer que t'es jamais là. Que tu passes ta vie au calme et qu'elle est sur Insta. On me dit que bébé. Maman dit d'arrêter. Mon cœur s'emballe, l'année carrément. Mon cœur s'emballe, l'année carrément. Mon cœur s'emballe, tout ça pour d'ailleurs. Mon cœur s'emballe. Elle a un mari qu'il aime. Il a une femme qu'il aime. Mais trop de sang et sang et sang et
dans ma nature. Mais y'a personne comme toi. Je vais te laisser t'en aller. Je n'ai pas de thé comme toi. Je vais te laisser t'en aller. Elle est en beauté, ma dingue. Mais y'a personne comme toi. Je vais te laisser t'en aller. C'est dans ma nature, je te jure, bébé. C'est dans ma nature. C'est dans ma nature, je te jure, bébé.
bigwi niyarutuye Doragane nyir'urugega ruvuga nk'indamutso ngeze mu nkomane za Nyakarengo je kuvuga imyato gishima ryicwe Nakamanangahe yewe ga yaragiye no kwa musingahe wizakorendahe Gahora n'Imana mbega musinga rwizakorenda nkiti yanzaye Nshuti yambyaye ngo byiyahetse gahora n'Imana mwami w'i Rwanda we ngize icyo ngusaba wehe ngusabye umurera wehe ngusabye umurera he mureraga wa Nyange he maze ga ngusabye ikirungo he yewe n'imizi yacyo he ngusabye ikirunga n'imizi yacyo ngusabye umurera wa Nyange ngusabye agashangiro n'akabahuge ngusabye ntamiziro yitwiye nzana ngusabye na kepo n'akabahuhura ngusabye ginkindiga n'iyaruga ngusabye Ruhanga wasimbezwe na Sebiyozo mwene Kinesha we na Ruzirampuhwe wa Rukinga mubiri n'uwo mureraga nawe ugusabye yewe nawe musinga yaramubwiye we uwo murera ufite Ruhanga wehe wasimbenzwe ntabarwanyi wamudakekwa ndavuga ubukombe ashyigikiye urore hari Sebiyozo mwene Kinesha ntuzamurinda gakamananga tuzarinda Ruhanga wasimbenzwe niwe Rwibihanga se wa Mirego niwe Ruhunguhega rw'amagajwe indangurura bigwi niyaruhuta ni nyir'uruge ruvuga nk'indamutsa ageze mu nkomane za Nyakarengo arabyumva rero nawe musinga cyo kamananga ndawuguhoye n'akamananga yatashye umukingo wa Nyiranzage yaje umusenyi wa Nyanjwenge yaje amarangara emeyo yose yaje Buremba ho ni mu babadi yaje Amashango ya Nyabarongo yaje Gatonde kwa Nyirimbima hasanga umukobwa mucumari yongwe Cumariyonga yaramubwiye wino tujyane keza kamananga sinzi kujyane kandi n'amatabaro ganguye bwami kwaro kwizakuhinde n'akamananga yakubye indwari wihandagaza ni mwene rugohe rwihandagaza mwana wa rugohe nk'umutsama umbe n'umurwanye n'inka y'ibwami ndanayikubagiye witwikirero se wa mugabo we sinabagabanye kuri rwizakurinde inabagabanye kuri musinga rugwiza kurinda rwa mutagisha wihadagaza ati nguhaye gumutsama ganumurwanyi saza barungu warwihandagaza we ndamuguhoye ninka y'ibwami ndayiguhaye gakamananga wihandagaza iramuherekeye tashe ruhengeri n'urw'ibihuge cyose gisabo cyo mpumutsama mbe n'umurwanyi n'inka y'ibwami wose kidende na karihungu na rwemeye ishashi na rugayampunzi n'abarwanyi badoga umwami tashagashangiro n'akabahuye dore na kepo